Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and by now you probably think I've forgotten about the Henry J project because it's been months since I posted my last video. And I kind of left off with the first time we cranked this thing up and drove it around the block. And a lot of work has been done since then, and that's what this video is going to be. This is the finale of this build series. So a quick recap if this is your first time seeing this, because it may be. Sleeperdude's doing his own video on our race, so if you're here for the first time, thank you for watching. This car has a lot of cool history. I've covered it in previous episodes on this build, but I'm going to give you the short version right here. This is a 1951 Henry J. These were built by Kaiser, and they were not meant to go fast. They were economy cars, but because of that, they were very light. They were very popular on the drag strip. This one was built into a drag car in 1967. And a lot of the parts you see here were put on this car in 67, like the front axle. That's a 41 Willis front axle. And the leaf springs, all that stuff has been there a while. This car did go through some changes in the 1970s. It was turned into a street car, a very radical street car with a big block Chevy and an automatic. And that's kind of the configuration that I'm going with here. This is a 468 cubic inch big block, oval port heads, pretty mild compression, about 10-to-1. Nothing crazy on the bottom end, but I did put a hydraulic roller camshaft in there from Comp Cams, and then all of the associated push rods and valve springs and rocker arms and all that good stuff also from Comp Cams. On the top, it's got a Y-end tunnel ram, two 450 CFM Holley carburetors. Both of those items came from Holley. Behind this is a 350 turbo transmission. The engine and transmission came out of a donor car, which was like a mid-70s El Camino. And it turned out to be the perfect donor because this thing seems pretty happy. And out back is a 66 or 67 Nova 12-bolt rear end. It's got 538 gears, factory style posi, what appears to be stock axles. So this thing hadn't been on the road since about 1977. That's the last documented time I've got of this car being together and functional. So we're talking almost 50 years that this car has been packed away and now it's functional again. Well, I didn't want to take the carburetors off, but I did because I could not get this stumble out of right when you hit the throttle. This thing would have a bog if you're going wide open throttle. And I started reading on the internet about these 450 tunnel ram carburetors, and there's a major dilemma, and this isn't anybody's fault, it's just the nature of these carburetors. It's a 450 CFM carburetor, so it's relatively small. It's great. You know, you end up with 900 CFMs. That was going to be great for the big block. The issue with a 450 tunnel ram carburetor is that it's a single pump. You only have one pump. It's not a double pumper. That allows you to run these things in line instead of setting them sideways. And that's what I wanted. But the single pump gives you a major lean dead spot when you're nailing the throttle right off the line. From a roll, it was okay. It idles good. It drives down the road good. But when you stall it up and try to take off, it has this major bog. And I played around with different pump cams. These are accelerator pump cams. There's all different colors that have different ramps that pushes the arm differently. So I played with that. It helped a little bit. I put 35 squirters instead of 31s. That's what it comes with the factory, is 31s. Put 35s in there and still had the same issue, except a little better. So further research showed that it's the accelerator pump itself that's not giving you enough of a shot right off the bat. So I'm upgrading. I've already got this one on there. I'm upgrading to a 50cc. That should give me a bigger shot. That should help get this thing off the line a little better. So the new pump kit comes with a new arm and spring rod assembly. It comes with a new housing that we're taking off right now, a new diaphragm, and it even comes with new screws because you'll see that the housing and diaphragm is much deeper because of the additional fuel capacity. So you gotta have longer screws to hold it in. I'll spill a little bit of fuel, it's okay. Make sure that gasket comes off without tearing anything up, because we can use these on something else. We take the spring out. The new kit comes with a new spring. And then we got to take this rod off. It's held in with a little C-clip. And then we can rotate this around, take that rod off of there. All that comes with the new kit. We actually got this from Summit Racing. Obviously, Holley makes a kit for this, but Summit also makes one that's Summit branded, and it's pretty affordable, so that's what we went with. Especially when you're dealing with tunnel rams, you're buying 2 of each thing. So you got to save money where you can. Slides right over just like that, and that clip can go right back on it. And that holds it in place. It's all that holds it. Now, these screws are not supposed to be real tight. I'm just getting them evenly tightened. And then we'll need to take the slack out of this. We basically want the arm to have no slack in it. So it's got a nylon locking nut up here. This is a 3/8. We're going to loosen. Still got plenty of slack there. All right, now we can put the new accelerator pump cam. This is what comes with the 50cc kit. It's brown in color, kind of looks black. That just lines up like that. Put your screw in there. There are 2 positions in the case that you have a pump cam with 2 holes, or like the originals that were in these 450 Hollies had 3 holes. So you could rotate around and dial in your pump shot with that, but we can't use those anymore because we're doing this big 50cc kit. Hopefully that solves our fuel starvation issues on the launch without hurting anything on the top end, because it runs pretty good once it's out in the RPM. So let's see. I've got clearance issues on this pump rod. It's hitting the intake. That's about all it'll do. This one I've just got it sitting on there. I don't have it bolted on. But you can see as this goes around, it's coming in contact with the intake right there. So I'm going to grind that little bit of meat off of the intake, put these back on. All right, we got the 50cc accelerator pumps on the carburetors and took it for a test drive, and it was acting a little bit rich. So I changed them back to the 31 squirters in there. That's what these things came with, was 31s. Put those back in there and it's pretty happy now. Also put a double spring on here. I had a little whoopsie-doo with the throttle hanging up wide open. That was no fun. And I put a little extra spring back here just in case. We've done a bunch of test driving, and now it's time to get some glass in this thing, at least a windshield. And lucky for us, this thing had the old windshield that was in it. You just can't see through it anymore. It's pretty yellowed up, but it gives us a good pattern to go by when it comes to cutting the new Lexan. We can see that we can maybe cut it a little long here so that it's not such a big old gap around the scoop. We've got a little bit of a gap up here as well, so we'll cut it a little bit long in those areas. And notice that it's 2 pieces, and this it's actually 2 pieces of aluminum. This sandwiches the Lexan, so we're gonna put it back just like it was, just with a new fresh sheet of Lexan. Summit Racing came to the rescue again, this time with the sheet of Lexan. This is a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet. Should be plenty enough to do the windshield, maybe even some side windows if we choose to do that. But for sure, we gotta get a windshield in this thing. So this will give us plenty of material to work with. They shipped it to us, got here quick and easy. Like always, Summit Racing is a good choice for pretty much any kind of speed part. All right, we got the old piece clamped in place. I'm just gonna draw a line with my marker right around it. And then I've already kind of taken some mental notes as far as where to cut it a little longer, so that way we can do a real nice close fit. I don't know if anybody else does it this way, but while it's clamped into place, I'm gonna go ahead and drill these holes. That way I can go ahead and get that out of the way, and then take the old glass, the old window, it's not glass, take the old windshield out of the way, and then make my cut. This is how you're supposed to do it, I'm sure. I'm sure this is how the professionals do it.
Ow!
Yeah.
What?
Well, hang on to that.
Oh wow, that's
Future use. It's an expensive sheet here. $250 or so for a 4x8 sheet. Very fortunate that Summit helped me out on this, but still stressful. We got enough material to make one pair of these, and then the side glass. Be fine though, I'm sure.
yeah. It's all good.
It's all good. Let's fit it up. I know it's not gonna fit. Okay, we got a pretty good looking line there. Corner looks great. Looks like we got a little fat spot right there that I need to, from basically there to there, I need to DA down, because that's kind of holding us up. And then this is extra super duper thick. So probably just need to cut it a little closer to the line, a little bit at a time. All right, we got the windshield in it, and cut looks pretty good. It fits the body all right. Put some stainless steel screws in there instead of rivets like the way it was years ago. And my dad made a new V right here. It's still the same concept where it sandwiches the two pieces of Lexan and then screwed it all in there. And you know, if we end up painting the car somewhere down the road, we can take those screws out and take the windows out of it easily compared to rivets. So one of these days we'll make this thing slick, but for right now, just happy to have the bugs out of my face and the dirt and stuff not flying in my eyes. All right, it's been a while since we've seen this out in the open. The old front end, we're gonna hang it back on the car, but we gotta clean it up. This thing is dirty. I hate that the paint's so rough on it, but we at least gotta get the dirt off. I got some headlight rings. We might take these little chrome things off because they look so rough. But let's get started. We got some stuff to clean this stuff with. We're gonna use Super Clean. It's pretty stout, pretty strong stuff. It should clean it up real good. All right, that's probably enough. We're gonna spray our juice on there next.
Juice?
Yeah.
What juice?
We got some juice over here.
Yummy. Can I have some?
You can spray some.
Oh. I thought it was real juice to drink.
No, it's Super Clean. It's gonna get it super clean.
To get all the yucky.
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna get all this flaky paint, but it will get all this dirt.
same car.
No, it doesn't. It does not look like the same car. The front end back on the car, that was a pretty simple matter of 4 bolts. This is all existing stuff, just like what it had back in the day. These plates and a bar that runs across, there's nothing fancy there. But I just bolted them back up in the existing bolt holes. I added some chains. There was already 2 hooks on the inside of this fiberglass front end. So I just put some little cheap chains on there to keep it from flipping too far forward. Put a headlight bezel on it. It was missing one, and I've got everything ready to wire up the headlights. So we're getting there. Here's another thing I didn't bother videoing the whole process. I put a universal turn signal switch in this thing. It's kind of cheesy looking, but these things are cheap and easy to fool with. 7 wires, pretty much simple. I can just strap that to the steering column. The rest of it was easy, and it allowed me to hook up brake lights and turn signals, and that's very helpful for making this thing legal for the street. The original taillights are not amazing. The one on the passenger side is a replacement. It's a plastic lens, and then the original one over here accidentally cracked the glass lens, so I'm kind of sad about that. But it has functioning taillights, blinkers, and brake lights. I've got the lower portion of my new Simpson racing harnesses in here. I got these from Holly, of course, and I'm going to put shoulder straps in here too, but my buddy Kyle's going to make me a harness bar back here that'll make that a little bit safer than what it was. It was just wrapped around this back bar. And you'll notice that this is a different seat than what I put in here in a previous episode. That other seat, that fiberglass seat, was way too small for my behind. It just didn't fit. It was not comfortable. It was cool looking, and we had it mounted in the right spot. It just wasn't comfortable to sit in. So I ended up getting an Impy. This is a plastic bodied seat. Very similar seat cover to what's in there, so it doesn't look totally out of place. It's got a low back, not one of the big tall backs like the 80s style seats. So it's not totally offensive like the other seat was, but it's also not an exact match, but it is super comfortable. So I can get in there easy and drive it and feel pretty confident about it. So my first time driving this car, aside from just like around the neighborhood and up and down my little road, first time really driving it and putting some miles on it, we drove up Highway 27. I don't know, I just wanted to put more miles on it and get some heat in the motor and transmission and rear end and see what this thing was gonna do, see how it was gonna act. I had to know what 538 gears felt like out on the highway, and it didn't take long to figure that out. Lots of RPMs, lots of noise, lots of nerves, you know, being out on a public road with open headers and slicks and a car that just doesn't look like it belongs on the road anymore. There was some concern of, you know, what if I get pulled over or something like that. But I do have tags and insurance, and it's legal, other than the stuff that's not legal. actually took it to, I guess, the first real debut of this car. The first time it was in the public eye was at the Hot Rod Hoarder swap meet. Now, that's a swap meet we have every year. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving every year. We have it at the Ray County Fairgrounds in Evansville, Tennessee, and it's grown into a really great event. We raise money for a local family in need, and this past year I wanted to take this thing. I wanted people to see it. So the first real debut where I drove it there and drove it back and might have romped on it a little bit in front of some people was in March of this year. That was the Classy Trash Custom Bash. That's in Dayton, Tennessee. And a friend of mine, Earl Jordan, puts that show on. That was his first time putting this show on. And he had a great turnout. Some really neat cars and trucks showed up. And I wanted to support that by bringing this old car out for the first time. And it ended up winning an award. It was the best race car. Might have been the only race car there, but still. Got a trophy on its first time out, so that was a pretty neat deal. So taking this thing to the drag strip was just a dream, honestly. I've always dreamed of having a Henry J that I could go drag race. This started, let's say 35 years ago, with my dad's photo albums of his old Henry J drag car. Is just a dream car for me. And we were able to put this thing together throughout the last year. And, you know, there were some struggles. There were some issues that came up that I addressed in part 2 of this video series. And it was with my wife's health. And that was an obstacle that I didn't see coming. And it was an obstacle that affected my mindset. And, you know, none of that's meant to, as an excuse for taking so long to build something. None of it's meant to be an excuse as to why I did certain things the way that I did them. That's just a fact of the matter, is when you got a wife and you got a family, those things come first. And this whole stuff, you know, it wasn't going anywhere. So it was waiting patiently on me. When all that stuff kind of started settling out in late spring, early summer of last year, I started being able to work on this car a little more and included the kids in it. And it's just been the best. I mean, it's been the best. It's been a huge blessing to our family to get to spend some time together working on a car. I've got other cars, I've got other projects and things, but there's just something about this one that really struck a chord with our family. So being able to get through some of those health challenges and get to the end of the year was a big deal for us. And it was a very cool moment to be able to crank this car up and to drive around our neighborhood. I mean, honestly, I was pleased with that. And if that was the end of this project, I would have been happy. I mean, I was thrilled to death to hear this old motor run and to take this old car that hadn't been driven in, you know, probably close to 50 years, take this old car down the road and back. That was kind of enough. But obviously I had goals and dreams, and as the months just flew by, those dreams started coming together. And the idea of taking this thing to the drag strip it's a lifetime dream. And around November of last year, that's when I started buttoning things up. I hung the front end on it. That was kind of a sign that, like, okay, I'm done tuning on this thing for a little bit. That means I can close the hood. And that was kind of a next chapter. You know, all those things were just clicking away, and suddenly it was wintertime. All the tracks had closed, and I didn't get a chance to take this thing at the end of last year. And I was disappointed about that for a little bit anyways. And then I started realizing, just like I've had to realize many times in my life, and especially with this project, is timing isn't always in my control. And so I just had to change my perspective on that and think about what I needed to do in the meantime to make sure this car was gonna be ready. Part of that was any chance I got, I'd drive it down the road and back, get more and more comfortable in the car, put it in situations to where I could understand what it was going to do and how it was going to react. So fast forward to the end of February, and I've just got the itch. I've got to figure out what this thing's going to do. and I knew it was going to be time for Paradise Dragstrip to do basically their season kickoff. So in March, they always do a Thrill on the Hill show, which is a swap meet, a car show, and a drag race. It's not a serious drag race, no bracket racing or nothing like that. It's just a test session for a few hours during the middle of the day. My dad's buddy, Tommy Dillard, he let me borrow his trailer. We were going to use his truck, but again, ran into an obstacle with that and borrowed my neighbor, Terry Dillard, Tommy's brother, borrowed his truck. So this was kind of a completely borrowed setup, everything except for this old car. So we went down the road with very little expectations in my mind. I knew what I was going to do and I assumed how the car was going to act, but as far as like what kind of ET it was going to run, you know, a lot of people had asked me that, and my answer generally was if it ran anywhere in the 7s in the 8th mile, I'd be pretty pleased with that. And my wife was really worried about how I would feel when it was all over. Like when I take this thing to the track, how am I going to leave the track? Am I going to be disappointed in anything? There, you know, that's all unknown. It doesn't matter how well you're prepared. I could have went there and cranked the thing up and it could have had a knock. It could have had no oil pressure. It could have busted the transmission in two. It could have broken an axle. It could have done anything. These cars are unpredictable. But the reality was that it was one of the best days of my life. And I don't say that lightly. The reason for that is because not only did the car do what it was supposed to do, but I had my support system right there. My wife and two oldest, Carly and Isaac, they came, and my dad, my mom came, my father-in-law came, Tommy Dillard rode with us, and you know, having that support system and those people that care so much about me, care about this car and care about the story behind it, that meant so much. And it's hard to put into words how much it meant. And we didn't have cameras running all the time to capture our moments of hugging each other and laughing and smiling and, you know, all of the emotion that happened throughout the day. We didn't do that. And part of the reason for that is I don't feel like it would be quite as genuine if we just had a camera running all the time capturing all these personal moments. So you're going to have to take my word for it. It was a good day. It was a real good day. Paradise Dragstrip does this thing where they'll go prep their track a little bit, and then before people go out there and start racing, they'll have the cars go do sort of a parade lap. So any drag car is available to go out there and do this, and it's a great idea. Get your car up to temperature, you know, it's all good. And you just drive down through there, maybe goose it a little bit, and if you want to, you can kind of stop there at the starting line and see how it's going to take off. You know, you're just kind of playing. You're getting things warmed up, and that was a great opportunity for me. And Christina got to ride with me, which was really cool to me because she'd ridden in this car once, and it was not the best experience. The throttle hung wide open, so obviously I fixed that problem that I was having. She had never really ridden in it aside from that day, so she wanted to ride on the warm-up laps. So we decided to do 2 laps, come back to the pit, check it out, make sure it's not dumping fluid somewhere or something crazy. And we had a blast. It was one of those things that kind of gave her a little more appreciation for the car, of how rowdy it is and how loud it is and how aggressive it feels. You know, 538 gear is just something that you can't explain by mouth. You just got to ride in it and see what this thing feels like. So we did our little test laps, and everything felt good, looked good. I was noticing a little stumble right off of idle. It was real grumbly feeling. Even when it wasn't in gear, like I put it in neutral and cleared out, and it was, once it got up in RPMs, it was great. It cleared out and revved up clean all the way up through the RPMs, but it was just like maybe 1,000 RPM window where it was just grumbly. Like you had to kind of nurse it through that to get it on up and clear up. So I wasn't real worried about tuning at the track, especially. Like I didn't bring a bunch of carburetor parts and tools and things like that. I didn't want to go down that road. I just wanted this to be a shakedown run. So that very first one, my dad was standing here with me, and we're just talking about stuff and getting a game plan together. We've talked about it for months and months now, but here we are. This is the moment. So he was up there, and what I wanted to do was replicate a picture that we have of his old Henry J drag car, where he's standing. It's actually his buddy Junior driving the car, and he's standing at the back of the car holding it, because at Paradise Dragstrip, the starting line is kind of uphill. So if you had a 4-speed car back in the day and you didn't have a line lock, it would roll backwards out of the beams. So eventually they moved the starting line forward, and that helped a little bit. But anyways, we've got this great picture of my dad with his Henry J holding it on the line. And that was sometime probably around like 1978. So I wanted to replicate that, but with my car. So he got up there and kind of posed for the picture, and that was cool. That was a really neat thing. But it meant a lot to me. Number one, that he wanted to be there, that he has always supported me in everything that I've ever done, whether it's car related or work related or life related, family related. I'm sure that there's things that he doesn't agree with. He probably doesn't totally agree with some of the things I did on this car, but he supports me. So having him there and having my mom there, it meant the world to me. But having him there on the starting line too was really neat. Not only for the picture, replicating that old picture, but I'm sure that having his hands on this car, I'd imagine he said a little prayer before things got going, and I did too. That was in the staging lanes when it kind of got quiet, and we were sitting there waiting, and my dad walked away to go get up on the track there. It got quiet for me, and I just had to stop and pray.
Well, were you nervous?
Yeah.
You gassed.
Everything was good. Pull it back in, make sure there's nothing leaking, nothing gone wrong or anything like that. It's all good. I can breathe just for a minute. But what I really wanted to do was go back around to the staging lanes and make a real pass. Give it some gas this time, because the first one, it ran a 808 in the 8th mile, which, I was pretty happy with that, considering I was very much off the gas. I was like, okay, 808's, that's pretty good. Left lane didn't give me a mile an hour, so I didn't know where I was at there, but probably, 75 miles an hour, maybe 80. Pull it back around for my second pass, and I wanted to make a real full pass this time. I was totally confident in the car, felt really good about it. Here we go. the car took off good. It didn't feel like it hopped the front end off the ground, but it took off pretty good and then fell on its face. Grumbly, grumbly, grumbly. And I actually let off the gas completely, stabbed back in it, and it picked up, cleared up, shifted a second into high gear. And I run it through the lights, about as hard as I felt like I could push it. And pulled around there to the ET shack and grabbed my ticket, didn't look at it. I just wanted to get back to the pits so I could get unbuckled, out of this jacket, helmet off. Like I needed to let my body breathe for a minute. So get everything undone, look at that time slip, and it says 7:41. And I can't explain to you how good that felt. The wheels start turning of like, oh, I kind of want to get rid of this grumble now. I need to figure out a way to tune this out so that I can go make a real pass. That didn't end up happening, but I did make another pass, and I pulled around. I ended up lining up with one of the other gassers at the track. It was great timing. 56 Chevy, he's got a big block. His is a 4-speed, and I've seen his car run plenty of times before, and I was like, man, this is going to be cool. This is going to be our pictures. This is going to be our video. This is going to be it. And I also lined up in the right-hand lane, so this time I'm going to get a mile an hour. The left lane mile an hour just was not working that day. Man, when I let off the gas and everything was good and everything, felt good, I said out loud, and I didn't have the video going or anything, but I said out loud, I don't care what it ran, that was cool. So we turn around, get on the return road, and get our time slip, and I didn't look at it. I just drove right to the pit, got everything unbuckled and off of me and stuff, and then looked at it. And I saw his 699, and instantly before, in that split second before I even saw my time, I was like, man, if he ran a 699, like I was right there with him. And on my side, it said 739 at 92.78 miles per hour. And as I was pulling back into the pits, I mean, we're talking about, this isn't a big track, pull back into the pits, not even 45 seconds after I've crossed the finish line, my phone buzzes. I can feel it. And after I get unbuckled and everything, I look down, and it's from my wife, who was taking video and pictures for me. And she sent me the picture the one that tells the whole story of what we went through. And the idea that she was able to go and spend the whole day at the drag strip out in the sun. I mean, it was a great day, perfect, beautiful day, but given her health conditions that she's still not out of the woods on, that was a success in itself, that she was able to spend all day out there and support me the way that she did. But when she sent me that picture, it didn't seem real. Still doesn't seem real. You know, the front wheels were in the air on this car. And so were the guy in the 56, his wheels were in the air too. It was the perfect timing of the perfect shot. And she did this while she was taking video. And I've made a living for almost 20 years now, capturing moments like that for other people. I've photographed cars for magazine features. I've photographed cars at the drag strip. I've photographed cars that have been restored and, that had special meaning and special histories. And so I've captured a lot of what I would consider special moments, but none of them can compare to that. Early on, when I really just started building this car, what I wanted to do was line up with my good buddy Josh. You know him as Sleeperdude, and he bought Steve Magnanti's Funny Fairmont. This is a really wild car. It's an altered wheelbase Ford Fairmont, 4.6 with stacked fuel injection. The engine's set back, the rear axle's pushed forward. It's a weird and crazy car, and I thought it would just be a really cool matchup for both of us to line up. We got similar tastes, and we finally have two similar cars that we can go race. Fun fact, we've never raced together legally. So this was kind of a first for us. So brought it back home, and I didn't touch anything. Basically, didn't feel like I needed to do much. I thought I had the stumble fixed, and it turns out I didn't. But we went and raced Josh at Brainerd Motorsports Park. That's our local track here close to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we got together on a Friday night, just me and him. There wasn't a whole lot of other cars at the track. And let's just be clear just for a second. I know that he's at a disadvantage as far as the car is concerned. 468 cubic inches, his is not that. It's less than 300 cubic inches. Weight-wise, I'm probably lighter than him, although I have not weighed this car. Gearing-wise, I've got a huge advantage. I don't remember what he was running. It was a 4-something. I'm running a 538. This car's set up to run 8th mile and 8th mile only. So, there's a lot of advantages here. Automatic transmission's probably going to be an advantage. Although he could leave the line with a lot more RPM, still, consistency-wise, I was probably going to beat him. Going into that, we knew that I had the advantage. This was not any kind of major, we're not putting money on the line, or we're not going to be disappointed if one person wins and the other one loses, or whatever the case may be. This is just purely for fun. And that's exactly what it was. The moment we got some of those nerves out of the way, some of those butterflies out of the way, pull into the burnout box, and everything went about as smoothly as you could want.
On your feet, see how hot they are? Yeah. I told you.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
Competition over there.
Yeah.
Man,
He's gonna cross up my plug wire.
Just by default here, Yeah. made it to the track, and most importantly, we made it with Sleeperdude over there. He's got the Funny Fairmont, and both of these things are as ready as they're going to be. I won't say that I didn't struggle today because I had some issues, but we got here to the track and finished what we couldn't finish at home, and it seems a little happier now. So we're about to go up and make our first pass. This is exciting and nervous and all that built up into one thing because we've wanted to race for 20-something years, and now we both got pretty cool cars to do it with. Recent blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. High...
Sounds like me.
Yeah.
They told me I had high cholesterol. And I only have high blood pressure at the doctor's office though.
Is that gonna work?
Shouldn't add any weight then if it's coming up and sacking like that.
Unless you want an exhibition pass.
Yeah.
Looked like it was driving towards the center line a little bit.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
Oh, it hopped him in third. It hopped him off the ground in third. That's third gear right there. It's hopping the wheels off the ground.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's at the 330 mark, right?
Yeah, don't put weight in it.
Yeah, no more weight. Okay.
Unless you want.
You want to drag the bumpers? That's what you want to do.
No, I mean, I want a wheelie. I don't want to break something. Is what I don't want. You know, I don't want to break it.
You're still cutting.
Bad all the way down the track.
Hey, Daddy. I want to see everything.
What do you think, Mark?
He wants to see the video.
I must be sweating.
I was wondering how you.
Oh, we did a wheelie.
What do you think?
Did a good one.
Yeah, but you're right in the weed.
His car is really loud. Like yeah. With his car next to it.
So the boards aren't working either?
Did y'all get tickets?
One's 720 and then one's 740.
This is the first pass.
728.
Oh, I ran a 780.
Man,
Hey, that's the same as the time I ran in your car. At 87, that's the same mile an hour you ran. That would be a great race for that.
728.
So y'all ran the same.
But look, you
With a
got
running road.
93 miles an hour, and then you got 95. So it did pick up 2 miles an hour.
Yeah,
So
so
the timing helped.
723 and 95.
Yeah.
I picked up 1 mile an hour.
162, 60 foot. And it,
We're pretty consistent. Look at the
that's-
passes.
Yeah,
780, 780,
Very close.
720, 720.
it's not bad for a piece of junk.
For
From the
dropouts.
cars, yeah.
Yeah. Look at our 60 foot. 1616 on both. All four are 16. So we're like really close on all that. But you definitely are outpowering me by, what is that, 7 miles an hour or something? I don't know. Something like that. So
Yeah,
you got me.
man.
You got me by a little bit there on the mile per hour. Yeah, 7 miles an hour on this last pass. But yeah, definitely, the timing definitely helped then.
Yeah. Kind of makes me want to do a little more.
Yeah. Turn on that nitrous model. I seriously thought about doing that to you. I seriously thought about putting nitrous on the car, but the intake's so hard to do it because it's
Oh, yeah.
individual.
Yeah, if you had a carburetor on there,
Yeah.
that would have been a nice little surprise.
I thought about spraying it out the back, but
So the real question now is, do you put some more weight bias back there just for the show?
Fun?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not against it, you know?
Put another one in, and you're gonna have to shift in the air.
Okay. All right, shift in
Make
there.
yourself just get it.
Okay.
Get it in there. Because
in
it's
there.
gonna be on the bumper, and you're gonna just shift fast
Okay.
in there.
I'll try to make you proud.
Yeah. I'll be next to you probably.
You want one? Do you want one or not?
I don't.
Do you want one?
I want one, but I don't have a way
We
to
have
steer
two.
it fast.
We have two.
I don't.
Okay, you want one?
There's a way fast.
Oh, Lord.
A drop off.
I see it, yeah. Put it in there, man, if you want to do it. It's up to you. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to use the other two.
What?
Why not?
What?
Why not? Yeah, I don't know how.
Oh, gosh.
Don't break it, Josh.
Up to you.
Just one.
Okay.
We got it back there. It totally fits. And it seems secure. It's good.
Came way up. Oh, yeah, you did touch about doing it.
It like bumped and come right back down. Man.
Cool.
Well, I guess it
Look
doesn't
at
matter.
the side.
So you did 730 at 92. That's a slower mile an hour, right?
Yeah, I'd slow one down. but it was busting up this time in power.
So that 780 at 88. You did a 1.560 foot though.
Yeah,
That's your best. Is that your best 60 in it?
I believe it is. Yeah.
You traded it down low for up high.
Yeah, it definitely popped down to high.
Maybe it was just the cooler air, the sun had gone down, and went out there and run a 714 at 95 miles an hour up against another good friend, and that's Philip Cagle. Everybody calls him Winky. He's the mayor of Pikeville, Tennessee. He's got a little drag car, a little 26 or 27 T-model coupe. He races it all the time, and he wanted to line up with me and just make a fun run, and we did exactly that. And I'm glad we did, because I ran my best time of the night against him. So that worked out really good.
Yes, you can. Get tight.
Yep, it's tight.
Okay.
Yeah!
Here, hang on. Yeah, wild dragon. Alright, here we go. You ready? What's up? Silly boy, you gonna sleep good tonight.
I'm really thankful for the time we got to spend together. Me and Josh have been friends for over 20 years, and our schedules are rough. I mean, especially during spring and summer months. We don't see much of each other because he's busy and I'm busy, and even though we live pretty close to each other, it's just hard. We both have 3 kids. They're all in different directions, doing different things, and by the time we get a chance to hang out together, it's pretty rare. So. And I'm just very thankful for his friendship, thankful for the fun evening that we got to have all together with our families, and thankful for a lot of support on this build. We had Comp Cams, Summit Racing, Holly, Willwood helped me out on the brakes, and then Coker Tire with the tire and wheel package. So many great people jumped in on this thing, and even though I built this car right here where I'm standing, there's a lot of people behind the scenes, and on the other side of this screen, the guys watching this, you guys have helped me stay motivated and keep on building this thing, because I know you guys want to see it done and want to see it going down the track again for the first time in a long time. So, but the truth of the matter is this car will never really be finished. This is going to be an evolving project. As I get more mechanical things ironed out, I may take on a body work and paint project on this thing. And as I get that ironed out, who knows what might be next for it. So, you will probably see this car again somewhere down the road. You may see it at an event. You may see it on the channel. But either way, this car is going to live on. It's going to be right here. It's a keeper for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed following along with the build. Appreciate you watching.
Yeah.